Long range, ladies and backstaff boys. No matter what your orientation, make sure your rudder is straight. Tickle the timorous time ball. And as long as that star is completely in the wrong place and these charts are inaccurate, we're right where we want to be. What do we do now that we've been lost for 5 days?
Now, we talk Tull to me.
Oh no! Welcome back to the podcast. I am Omen Thomas Sade.
And I am Nick McGill.
Together we are the Feckless Momes.
And this, my little Orienteers, is Talk Tull to me.
A navigational meeting in the bilge pump room of Prog Rock, in which Net Cutter Nick and Oilskin Omen will run our opsimometers. We'll run our opsisometers all over the uneven surfaces of every single Tull and Tull-adjacent track that radar-reflecting rock band Jethro Tull have ever tied to the mizzenmast and given a taste of the cat-o'-nine-tails for the improvement of morale. We will help Scott Hammond get a handle on his hygrometer, guilt David Goodyear into taking a shift in the GPS cockpit, and join John O'Hara for a jaunt down the jack line for a Jonah's lift. And if we can keep our pigtails tarred and keep our junk under 12 knots, we might just one day take refuge in that Andersonian anchorage, the kilted keel hauler, the fair water flautist, the man who holds fast and makes it last, the galleon of heavy stallions, the gooseneck grogger, Ian, if you think my longboat is long, you should see my really long boat. Anderson. Okay, stormy seas on that intro, but thank you for bearing with.
Very silly.
I found an amazing etymological pathway, if you'd like to know it.
Please do.
Sometimes in the morning you wake up and you're not feeling super bright, you might feel groggy.
Mm-hmm.
Groggy is a word derived from having drunk too much grog. Okay, easy enough.
Right, makes sense.
But why is a ration of rum mixed with water called grog? It goes back to the British Admiral Vernon, who in the 1740s came up with the idea of giving sailors a portion of watered down rum. He was called Old Grogham because he often wore a grogham coat.
Grogham like gingham? The same kind of, like it's a specific pattern?
It's also called gross grain. It's a coarse fabric of silk mixed with wool or mohair and often stiffened with gum. So
sounds like a waste of silk.
Yeah. So if you feel groggy in the morning, you are using that word because of a 16th century coat worn by an admiral who decided that rum was a good idea for the sailors.
Do you want to know the etymology for coconut?
Sure.
I learned this yesterday.
I've got nothing but time, Nick.
Nothing but time. Nothing to do here today. When the Portuguese found coconuts, I think it was the Portuguese, cocoa apparently has something to do with goblin, and they thought the little 3 holes looked like a little goblin head.
Which it does.
It does. So it's a goblin nut.
Wow.
Yeah.
That really...
Never be able to look at coconuts or goblins ever the same. Again.
I'm going to crack that goblin open and drink its fluids for hydration.
Drink the milk. It's really like it's pure. It's pure goblin milk. Yeah.
Pure goblin milk. Nick, what is it that we have the dubious pleasure of chatting about on this very day here on the Talk Tull to Me podcast?
Dear sweet Christmas, today is like Christmas because it's a present for us both. It's a gift.
And we're doing it in the present.
And we're doing it presently. We are going to talk the very final track from Homo Eroticus. It is chapter 15 off of part 3.
Yes.
It is called Cold Dead Reckoning.
Yes, it is. This is the outro of the entire album. I think we have a little bit to discuss about the album as a whole. And this track is pretty thick.
She thick. She dummy thick. She's about 5 minutes, not including the kind of the little beginning and outing.
Nick McGill.
Omen to Thomasade. You're fond of this song, yes?
Yeah, I really think that if I was to, if I was to boil this album down, if I had tapped a maple tree and gotten this album out of it, and I was like, I just want to concentrate the sugars and the flavor of this album by boiling it down in a big tub in the spring, I would boil it down to Doggerland, Puer Ferox, The Engineer, maybe? The one about the highwayman.
Turnpike In.
And this?
I would say that is a representative slice. Have you ever seen that on a package of bacon where it's got just like the one little window and it says representative slice? And it's like, this is what the bacon looks like, just in case you were curious.
It's real bacon in here.
Bacon.
There's at least this piece.
We're not lying. This postage stamp size piece of bacon, you can trust us.
This bacon contains real bacon. and I wouldn't want to do that to this album, but I do think that I think that those songs, and particularly this one, do help to sum up the trajectory of the album.
Story-wise? So sorry.
Story-wise and thematically and musically.
Okay, so all ways possible.
All of those ways that you said yes. How do you react to this piece?
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of this album that's not memorable. It's very difficult for me to think back on these other songs. Particularly, like, if I look at the lyrics, I can maybe kind of remember what they sound like.
But if I say to you, whistle the browning of the green, you got nothing.
That's all I remember. It's the browning of the green.
That's great. I didn't even remember that much.
That's all I remember, yeah.
I was having a thought about this album this morning.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
It was this morning.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this album as if it was a Jethro Tull album.
True.
Because in some ways, it is. Yeah, I think that we are right in proposing that argument. But on the other hand, this is officially an Ian Anderson solo album.
Yeah.
And I think that if I was Ian...
Oh, I hate everything but cats!
I just frightened myself. But I can imagine that for Ian, this might have been a really freeing experience artistically, because he was like, it doesn't have Tull's name on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can do whatever I want. I can make mistakes. And just like...
Genetically, he cannot.
I don't mean mistakes like playing the wrong note. I mean, like, I could go too far. Like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do an album that is about the entire prehistory, history, and future of Britain and humanity.
Much like Thick as a Brick. I mean, I think he kind of went into it with that mindset as well. No, the original. No, the original.
That's true, but that was... Yes, well, you're right. But I think what I'm realizing about this album versus, for instance, Rock Flute or Thick as a Brick 2, which was also Tull? Which was Tull?
No. That was the first. Well, it's not the first of his solo albums, but that's the first of the solo albums
this era
that we have covered that we're treating as Tull.
But I've been trying to figure out, why does this album not resonate with me as much? And I think that...
I know, it's strange.
I get the sense, or I came to the idea that Ian has, with this album, was just kind of like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to do whatever I want and just be cool with it. And if it's too long, who cares?
Yeah.
If it's not tuneful enough, who cares?
That's not to say that it's bad, though.
Not at all. It's just it feels so intimidating to listen to it because you're like, wait a minute, I have to emotionally process the entirety of human civilization.
Yeah.
And also there's not a lot that you can sing along to. Okay.
Yeah, you keep coming back to that, and it never really registered as a cogent point for me to absorb and for it to bother me in a sense. But I get it now. I get it now. I want a hook, and I want a riff, and I want a memorable phrase. And the only reason I remember Browning of the Green is because we just did it.
Right. But this is one of those tracks that breaks through a little bit. I know what you mean. It's like, you just want one Black Mamba chase. Like, you just want one, like, juicy, fruity phrase that you can be in the middle of the shower and just be like, the train, it won't stop running, it'll just slow down.
In between the tears, you can yell hot mango flush, and you're just refreshed.
That's right, exactly. And I don't really, there's not a lot of that content in this album.
Yeah.
And there doesn't have to be. It's just a very different type of an album.
Yeah. I mean, on the surface, it feels this era Tull, this era Ian.
Certainly.
But it does happen. It does seem to be slightly anemic in that way that it's too dense. And therefore it's lacking. It is distinctively lacking in these things. If it were thinner, it might have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
If not for those pesky kids.
Exactly. But on the other hand, one of the phrases from this entire album that does stick out to me is "Cold Dead Reckoning."
Yes, I always remember that. But that's it, though. It's just the name of the song. Same thing with the Browning of the Green. It's just how he pronounces or how he delivers the name of the song.
Anyway.
Yes, I know. Yes. Anyway, Omen.
There's lots of fabulous music in this. We start with an arpeggiated, a discordant arpeggio.
So dark and mysterious.
So dark, so mysterious.
Boom, 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 boom. It's like not a nightmare sequence, but also not a dream sequence. It's one of those where you feel like you're awake sequences,
yeah.
But just something is off.
It's like the NyQuil is kicking in and I can't quite tell if I'm asleep or not.
Yes. Is this imp with a donkey's head real?
Yeah. Did I ask the Hat Man here?
It's the Hat Man. Is that just a cryptidy?
It's like what people say when you've taken a lot of Robitussin.
Oh, okay.
The Hat Man shows up.
It's just the Hat Man. Isn't that the name of the guy in Curious George, the Hat Man? Or the man with the yellow hat?
The man in the yellow hat, yeah. Yeah. My Robitussin must be from an off-brand. I keep getting the man in the yellow hat instead of the Hat Man.
He calls me his little monkey.
Ooh, at 25 seconds, we get a theme that we have had before. 10 points if you know which one. But this theme is broken.
Is that where we get out of that mystery? Boom, 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 boom,
yes.
Boom, and then let me hear it again.
25 seconds in.
Oh, see, to me, that sounds like Ginnungagap.
The theme is actually from Enter the Uninvited.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew it sounded familiar. And I think probably in Enter the Uninvited, I was like, this sounds like Ginnungagap.
Yeah, probably. Well, After this most recent album, I think that Ian has actually played every single tune.
Everything possible, just so he can get the copyright on it all. So look out, musicians.
In a 12-note scale, Ian has run every possible calculation.
Yep.
He's done it.
It's just 12 by 12, honestly. It's not
a 12 by 12 square.
Well, I guess it would be 12 exponential. So 12 by 11 by 10 by 9 by 8 by 7 by 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2.
It's 12 exclamation mark by 12 exclamation mark.
Yes.
And that's not including the z-axis.
And that's just 12.
Florian comes in at 45 seconds. I would say he has a pretty fonctionnaire role in this song. He's pretty much just going scrap, 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 scrap.
Same thing with the bass, but the bass is pretty noticeable in here, particularly in that opener area. That's that first 25 that we were talking about.
Yeah.
In that mystery area, I think the synth, it's not harp, because we definitely hear synth harp later on.
Shine the face, this party is an open door.
But I think it might be on like dulcimer or something. It feels
interesting.
like it's struck. It's very interesting sound. Yeah.
At 2:30, we get to our fourth verse. We place our trust in sad, self-doubting leaders who have led. We kind of go off rhythm for the leaders moment. We kind of go into a what I'm going to call, with no reason for doing so, a big triplet. A tripleto grande.
They start trusting sad, self-doubting leaders who have led.
Yes. Leaders who have led.
Yeah.
It's just Ian and his expert scansion.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, giving it to us. And it gives us emphasis on that idea, on that phrase, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my favorite musical moments is at 3:27. We get some highly discordant accordion, some disaccordion.
Oh yeah. I wrote that down as sour synth. It's very strange choice there. But I mean, it fits really well. It's just overall, the whole piece has a strangeness to it that,
yes, it does.
I mean, encompasses very well and probably fits the overall theme of the song, kind of buttoning the end of the album itself.
I think it does, and I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
At 4:15, we get more what I think is the actual keys and piano. We get harsh keys, I wrote down.
See angels watching over all, the snake, the dove, the circling hawk.
So sour synth into harsh keys.
Yeah, I think sour accordion into harsh keys.
It's synth accordion, or do you think it's the actual accordion?
To me, I thought it was the real squeezy box.
It might be.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We're all just sitting in Plato's cave being like, it's an accordion.
Yeah, maybe it's a synth.
Plato's like, shut up, it's the idea of an accordion. The real accordion's outside. Haven't you been listening? Watch me flex.
Didn't know that about Plato, that he was a dude bro.
He was a wrestler, and Plato was his nickname, which means broad, like plat.
Oh, cool.
And apparently, if he was losing an argument in the debates, he would just take off his toga and start flexing, and people would be like, yeah!
No, that's not true.
Plato!
That's not true.
Apparently.
Wow.
I read that.
Setting it early for generations to come.
Yeah.
Thanks, Plato.
Thanks, Plato. Finally, after our final cold dead reckoning, we get an explosione.
Cold dead reckoning.
Rather muted, rather far away, but very ominous and final feeling.
Yes. Yes. And remember, this is set in our future. So
What's the year that we have on this
this
song?
is 2044. So it's 20 years after the last one.
44.
Yeah.
Will be 69.
Nice.
Nice. And then, so I was listening to this track on my phone in my kitchen making tea before I came up here.
Mhm.
And my phone was in my pocket. So I heard the song. And I thought that a new track was playing. And I was like, oh, has it selected this new track that I didn't recognize it. I was like, oh, what's it playing? And I took it out and it was the 30-second wrap up after the false ending.
The weird little button here.
You know, I love it.
It's gorgeous. It's very pretty.
It's gorgeous. I feel like in a album that is a little light on hope,
And light on pretty, even.
light on pretty, heavy on history, heavy on doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
Ian gives us somebody flicked on his sun lamp, and he was right. And in self-defense, he wrote this cheerful little outro. But I'm so thankful for it because it really changes the feeling of this song and the feeling of the album.
Yeah, the album in specific. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It pre-minds me
Mm-hmm.
of Rock Flute when we talk about Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we all remember, as all we Tull Skulls remember, the legend of Ragnarok ends, after the war, everything is totally destroyed. The charred trunk of Yggdrasil opens up and Lif and Lifprasir come out, and they're the two humans who are like, oh, what's all this about? And we should repopulate. And they come out onto this green field with the golden chess pieces. At least that's one visualization of it. But it kind of feels like that.
It's the start of that cycle all over again.
Yes, and that's this little twinkly bit at the end gives me that sense of back to the beginning.
While all is lost, it's not the end, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All is lost. How would you like to have another opportunity to lose it again?
to mess up one more time.
But yeah, it's quite, overall the track is quite strong, quite thumpy. We have a time signature.
We do. We have one, at least.
At least one.
I got 4/4 with a smattering of 2/4s in there at some point. And then at the sour synth, I don't even know. It definitely threw me off there. This one was really hard to count.
Yes.
I thought I got 5/4 at some point.
Well, and I do think that there are a lot of anomalous measures that don't correspond, but I do think that the dominant time signature is 7/4.
Okay, so that fits with my 5/4 and my 2/4 at certain points.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll take half credit for that. Thank you.
But I think that I do think that there are some whoopsie daddies in there where they just needed a transitional measure.
Yeah, and Ian's just like flicks a note in and it's done.
Takes one out of his pocket.
Yeah. Oh, I've got this old thing.
So, let me get to the verse. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
That's bonkers.
And I love that they take the Enter the Uninvited theme and put it into 7/4 because it totally crunks it. It makes it do this. It gives it the stanky leg, and it makes it feel like this theme that we've had throughout the album is now this broken kind of shambling version of itself.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really, really skillful.
And it's so, I guess, angry is maybe a word here. I don't know how to quite characterize it, but there's a forceful drive here that is not just like, hooray, we're because we've had a forceful driving song that's like, ooh, here we go, we're swept away on the waves. Like, this is like punch, 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 punch in 7/4, punch, punch, punch.
Yeah. Would they ever stop driving me?
Deep cut. Love it.
Thank you. I'm bleeding out. No, not really. What was we talking about? Oh, Ian's voice in this. This is maybe my favorite vocal mix of the entire album.
He's pretty solid in this. He does not push himself. He's very comfortable.
He's got a lot of air behind those notes.
Yep.
They feel very supported.
Yep.
And you can really hear, just about every word that he's saying.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Unlike, some of the songs. And like, this isn't a thing just with Ian. I finally got Charlie XCX's both Crash and Brat on vinyl. And one of my favorite songs I was finally reading the lyrics to on the album. And I was like, oh, that's what she says.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. I never knew.
Yeah. I was just talking to Ray about that. I don't remember what song it was, but I was like, I think this song would be better if you could actually, if the levels were better, like if you could hear and understand.
Was it the Star-Spangled Banner?
That's the one.
Yeah. What are they saying?
I just don't understand it.
Such talent.
It's just mumbling. Why?
When are we going to get to play baseball? Nick, anything else to say musically about Dead Cold Reckoning?
No, I can sting it there. Not that we're even stinging. We're going to jump right into the lyrics.
Nick!
Omen!
Have you heard the term Dead Reckoning before? And may I explain it to you?
I have, but I don't think I could put it to words if you asked me to, so I'm glad that you have volunteered.
I frickin' love that Ian has used this as the title for this song. It's not just a badass phrase that sounds good. It is a badass phrase that sounds good. And several people have used it as an album name or name for, Mission Impossible one of the Missions Impossible has the subtitle Dead Reckoning. Because it just sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
What it actually means is so much cooler. It is a navigational term.
Okay.
So imagine you on a boat. Now, the same could apply to land navigation or aerial navigation, but it came from the sea, like us all did. Like us all did. The idea is that, let's say you were at point A. You are in New York City.
Okay.
You're in New York City Harbor. You know where that is, obviously.
And I leave at 3 p.m. going 30 knots per hour.
Yes.
Okay.
And which direction?
West.
Oh, okay. No, bad. You would crash right into New York Harbor. Let's go east.
I wanted to go to Long Island.
Ew. Let's say you're going to Europe. You're making for Lisbon.
Okay.
And so it's this many kilometers, and it's in this direction from New York.
Okay.
Dead Reckoning is just taking that information and saying, well, we've been going 30 knots an hour for 16 hours. Therefore, we should be right here on the map.
Huh.
Without confirming by the benefit of the stars or GPS or any other objects. It is dead reckoning because you are reckoning how far you are from an object which is dead in space. Whereas you are the moving object.
So it's a math problem. It's one of those math problems, kind of.
Yes. Now, the difficulty or the problem with Dead Reckoning is that it is very easy to get wrong Because while you're moving 30 knots in this direction, the sea is moving under you at a number of knots in a different direction. And so you could end up in Iceland thinking that you really should be in Lisbon because that's the direction that you've been going. Your compass has been pointing this way, and you know that you've been doing this many knots an hour.
This is Columbus, right?
Amongst other things.
Yeah. Because he thought he got to India.
I don't know that it's exactly the same because I think he may have been using a sextant and all those other things.
Oh, yes, obviously. Yeah, he must have been doing that.
So the other way to do it is to say, well, okay, we need to go this direction for this many leagues at this many knots per hour or whatever. But every 6 hours, we're going to confirm the position of the stars and have a sense of what our latitude and longitude is.
Okay.
And make adjustments.
So that's not Dead Reckoning, or that is still Dead Reckoning?
No, that is regular reckoning.
It's live reckoning.
Live from Reckoning Night, it's navigation. Dead reckoning means you say, here's point A, I know that point B is there, I'm just going to go.
Okay.
And you don't reconfirm as you're going on the journey. So, metaphorically, it means you have no idea where you are. You think you know where you're going, you know where you've come from, but there is no external confirmation and no way to check. And that is a great way to get stranded at sea and die.
Yeah. That's why Tom Cruise died in Mission Impossible.
In Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Made it awkward that they made 4 and 5.
I think they have more than that at this point. Too many.
They're making the final one.
I think it's, I think
They're releasing
that's
the
like
final one.
number 37.
Yeah.
I think.
When will Tom Cruise just stop?
When will he be embraced by Xenu and move on?
Not soon enough. So if you put that idea into the context of the history and trajectory of humankind,
right?
This idea of dead reckoning suddenly becomes really interesting because we're saying, yeah, we know that where we want to be is this remarkably peaceful civilization, which has maybe colonized the stars or whatever. I'm not saying that we're saying that. Everyone has their own idea. But like, even if you say this is where humanity is going, how do you confirm?
Yeah.
How do you know that we haven't drifted? You have no way of knowing.
Yeah, so much of this album is point A to point B on a grand scale, on a minute scale.
But mostly stuff in the past where you can say, oh yeah, we went from here to here.
Yes, right. Right. But what was that process like? Did they know where they were going? Did they have a goal in mind? Or was it something like the Doggerland, where I can't imagine they did? You know, it's just like, well, we gotta, oh, look at that. That's open now. Let's go explore that. Oh, this is well fruited. Let's eat here.
New area just unlocked.
Oh, I leveled up.
Spawning. The sheep are spawning. I have a pickaxe now.
Wow, Omen, all of these video game references.
It's all Animal Crossing. I don't mean to be a misery. Don't you, Ian?
Don't you?
But I have to tell you straight.
I don't mean to be a misery, but I have to tell you straight.
Okay, finally, he's going to give it to us.
About time. Always mincing his words, that Ian.
There are zombies in the closet, and they're not prepared to wait.
There are zombies in the closet, and they're not prepared to wait.
Quite funny. Usually we say skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. Yeah, but skeletons don't eat you.
Ian had obviously watched every single episode of The Walking Dead during this time.
Yep.
We are the tribe that eats itself and spits out not a morsel thing.
We are the tribe that eats itself and spits out not a morsel thing.
We are the tribe that eats itself. That might be the most brutally poetic way of describing humanity I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so good.
We are the tribe that eats itself.
Mm-hmm.
And navigates this desert by our cold, dead reckoning.
And navigates this desert by a cold, dead reckoning.
I'm curious what you think of what is the imagery of the desert? What does the desert mean in this context?
A land with very little hope. A land with, if you make one single mistake, you're dead. a land where all you have is hope and faith to get through it to something better, something positive.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I mean, if we think of the biblical desert, that was a long suffering that one needed faith to get through. If you look at the Marathon du Sable, the desert takes on the meaning of I don't know, I haven't done it yet.
Whatever you want it to be.
Whatever you want it, or whatever you fear.
Whatever you're running away from, yeah.
So he's basically said, we are the tribe that eats ourselves, and we don't really know where we're going. We only can navigate through Dead Reckoning. We want to go here. I think it's in this direction. It should only take us 5 days. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're lost.
Right. Yeah. You know the general direction, but you don't know any landmarks in the desert. You can't rely on anything in the desert.
Exactly.
What, a cactus and a sand dune?
We've passed that sand dune cactus before. Does anybody have the chart's coordinates or maps?
Does anybody have the chart's coordinates or maps?
Well, does anybody? Lots of people will say that they do have. Mostly they want to exchange it for money or power.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
A hint of a direction to avoid further mishaps?
A hint of a direction to avoid further mishaps.
That's another fun thing about Dead Reckoning. Errors in Dead Reckoning tend to compound themselves over time.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
If you get blown 1 kilometer off course in the early part of your journey, that turns into 1,000 kilometers off by the end.
It's exponential,
It's exponential.
Yeah.
A throw of dice, a toss of coin decides what Mrs. Luck might bring as we navigate this desert by our cold Dead Reckoning.
A throw of dice, a toss of coin decides what Mrs. Luck might bring as we navigate this desert by a cold Dead Reckoning.
Still desert. This could be one of those instances where Ian changes that last bit up like just a hair.
Our hot, alive reckoning.
I was thinking more like an ocean, a desert, the hot street corner.
How'd you know about the hot street corner?
That's where I work every Friday.
I told you not to call me while I work. Yeah, no, we stay with the desert metaphor all the way throughout.
Yeah.
Turmoil, tempest, tall, tsunami. Haven't we heard it all before? Await the beast to join the feast. This party is an open door.
Turmoil, tempest, tall, tsunami. Haven't we heard it all before? Await the beast to join the feast. This party is an open door.
The beast is a proper noun here.
Capitalized.
Presumably Satan?
Satan. Yes, there is a lot of Christian metaphor. There's a lot of Christian metaphor in this song. So that fits nicely in.
Yeah, right.
The lyrics of this and the whole vibe of this last song kind of remind me of Broken Bride, the Ludo album that we discussed.
Sure, yeah.
Post-apocalyptic landscapes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically saying, we're all just waiting for the end of the world at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be more destruction? Yeah, we know. It's the end of the world. We're literally just waiting for the devil to get here.
Right. Yeah.
This party is an open door. All are welcome. All are joined in penitence, if it please the king, while we navigate this desert by our cold Dead Reckoning.
All are welcome, all are joined in penitence, if it please the king, while we navigate this desert by our cold Dead Reckoning.
So king is also
capitalized,
which makes me think either. I could think of two meanings for this. One is, hey, this is the end times. So you're welcome to repent and try to get to heaven.
And if God approves, then you are saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also makes me think of, in our society, especially these days now, we are drifting across the world toward authoritarianism.
Mm-hmm.
And that idea of here at the end of times, we've reverted to the worst kind of governorship.
Yeah.
And so, you can join our little tribe if it's okay with the big guy.
Right. Yeah, if they had their druthers, they would be kings.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying so hard.
Trying so hard, and yet they're stupid.
And yet they're making progress.
On that note, we place our trust in sad, self-doubting leaders who have led us through the dark to slip among the ranks and file of walking dead.
We placed our trust in sad, self-doubting leaders who have led us through the dark to slip amongst the ranks and files of walking dead.
Another promo for the AMC show. Yeah, it's sort of, we placed our trust in ourselves, in our own leaders, and look, this is where it's gotten us.
Yeah.
We're no better than the zombies who are crawling around our toes.
Right. These leaders have led because they're leaders, but what did they lead us to or through? This dark where there's frickin' zombies all over the place.
We're trying to eat our toes.
Trying to eat our toes.
Toe zombies.
The worst kind.
The worst kind. Yeah, man. Send to us a guiding symbol, tiny bird upon the wing, as we navigate this desert by our cold dead reckoning.
Send to us a guiding symbol, tiny bird upon the wing, as we navigate this desert by a cold dead reckoning.
Makes me think of the Noah's flood.
Mm-hmm.
The dove came back and was like, there's land.
Hey guys, there's land over here.
One if by land, two if by sea. Wait, wrong bird. Yeah, and it would be nice, if we had some divine symbol saying, this is the right way, this is the wrong way, don't go there, this is the right way.
Yeah.
If only something like, the extinction of species or the warming of the oceans or storms cropping up at unusual intervals or cities being swept away by tsunamis and floods. If anything, if only there was like a sign like that, something big that we couldn't miss, that'd be great.
No, nothing that I've seen.
Nothing that I haven't seen anything.
No.
Now back across the Doggerland, will higher mighty force redeem the one who dropped the moral compass, failed to fulfill the dream?
Now back across the Doggerland, will higher mighty force redeem the one who dropped the moral compass, failed to fulfill the dream.
The one being also being capitalized here.
No, but I don't quite get this one. Back across the Doggerland, will the higher mighty force redeem the one who dropped the moral compass, failed to fulfill the dream? Who's that? Is Jesus the one that he's saying dropped the moral compass or failed to fulfill the dream?
It's hard not to take it as that because the one being capitalized. But I'm not sure how he fits in this here.
There's this idea that Christ could have come back, or some people will say did come back lots of times, but every single time we just killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard of that before, yeah.
Was it Martin Luther King? Maybe. We wouldn't know because we killed him.
Was it John Lennon?
No.
Was it that pharmaceutical guy that Luigi killed?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
Yeah.
Will testimony tarnish and will sticky reputation cling as we navigate this desert by our cold dead reckoning?
Will testimony tarnish and will sticky reputation cling as we navigate this desert by a cold dead reckoning?
Interesting putting this in the context of the entire album. If you say, right, we're actually, you thought we were going to judge people individually to get into heaven. Actually, we're going to do it by country.
Oh.
Britain, what's your ledger say? Ooh, oh dear.
No one's coming out spotless here.
Maybe Sealand.
Gotta leave it to Sealand.
Yeah. But, the fact that it's questioned, the fact that it's not, it's going to be all right because so-and-so will be redeemed, or the testimony will clear us. There's none of that. There's doubt.
Yes, right. There's nothing definitive here.
If these are the end times, are maybe we all just screwed and nobody's going to heaven?
So let's go crazy and embrace it. Live our carnal life.
Oh, yeah, sure. In the desert.
Where sand can get in places.
Or is the answer to double down harder?
In praise.
Yeah.
In fervor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we get an answer to this. Or do we?
Or do we? Well, there's one verse left. Cheer up, Charlie, brave a smile, lift your chin and walk the walk.
Cheer up, Charlie, brave a smile, lift your chin and walk the walk.
Finally, some Britishness is kicking in. Yes, it's the end of times, but that doesn't mean we have to be sad about it.
Lift your chin, walk the walk.
We're all dying in a fiery consumption, but at least we'll keep our upper lip stiff.
It's the last thing to burn.
Yes, we're burning, but please put a suit on for dinner. This isn't America.
This scene in 30 Rock where Alec Baldwin's like putting on a tux, and Liz Lemon's like, "What are you doing? Are you going out someplace fancy? Why are you putting on a tux?" He's like, "It's after 6 o'clock.
Right.
I'm not a farmer."
Right, right, exactly.
Why are you wearing a tux?
It's after 6. What am I, a farmer?
See, angels watching over all, the snake, the dove, the circling hawk. There must be another Eden, a future garden of earthly delight.
See angels watching over all, the snake, the dove, the circling hawk. There must be another Eden, future garden of earthly delight.
I love that typically, like, as we have become accustomed to, we're seeing the re-paganization of Christian symbols. Or the marriage of paganism with Christianity in Ian's special worldview.
Yeah. The Christianity is starting to fade out a little bit, and we're starting to see those original symbols for what they were.
Yeah. Or maybe they are just existing, maybe they're coexisting.
If only we could.
If only we could. Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting to say, oh, there's a snake. Ah, that's life. There is an angel guardian of this desert who's trying to bite me. Oh, a hawk. Yes, life will continue even if humanity does not. And we have to hope that some humans are going to make it to that future garden. We end this, the singing with a kind of atomic bomb sound. It's tempting to think, if humanity was completely wiped out, everything in nature would just kind of reset.
Yeah.
It might take a couple thousand years.
Yeah. Something will happen, though. Not everything will go away.
No. Tom Cruise will still be making films.
He'll still be making films, just like he did for the dinosaurs. They died out. Now he's doing them for us.
Be like, watch, octopods, watch how crazy fast I can run. Zoom! Did you see me? Did you get that?
But only look up here, because I'm running on this platform to make me look really tall. Everything else, all the other octopods are running down there in a trench.
Next time, no fruit. I say that to myself every day. Next time, no fruit. In birthday suit, walk naked through the heavenly night as we navigate this desert by our cold dead reckoning.
Next time, no fruit in birthday suit, walk naked through the heavenly night. As we navigate this desert by our cold dead reckoning.
So next time we won't take the knowledge of the fruit of good and evil, the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil.
Something like that.
Well, no fruits.
No fruits. I'm on a diet. Only candy corn for me, please. Thank you.
Fast. I mean, what an amazing religious argument he's making. He's basically saying destruction of the world is proof of a future earthly paradise. Whoa! I think that's quite a bold argument to make.
Yeah. I think it's more...
Or it gives us hope for.
We have to have hope that there will be another one because we messed up so bad here. But hopefully there's some...
Right.
There's something left over. There's some kernel. There's something, some nugget of info, of instinct left over that says, no, we don't eat that.
Right.
Piece of fruit, because look what happened when we did.
Next time, we're not going to build any tunnels under the Thames.
Nope.
We're not going to put any steel rails down. We're not going to invent metallurgy.
None of that.
We're not going to spread empire across the world.
No.
We're going to stick to flint and antler tools.
And we'll just be happy nude in this garden.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Pants off, everyone.
If you can hear my voice, pants off revolution. And then we have the sound of a bomb, and then we have our little twinkly recap at the end.
Potential, maybe hopeful, something.
Could be.
We can hope that it's hope.
We can hope
You know?
it's hope.
Maybe it is that next time. That's the intro to our next time.
Well, and it's funny that the next album that Ian puts out is not rock flute. It's never mind.
Yeah.
It is fascinating to see.
Well, we do start with an atomic bomb, though.
Well, that's right. I mean, so it's interesting. Let's zoom out, Nick.
Whoa.
And look at the album as a whole. It is fascinating to see the seeds of Zealot Gene and the seeds of rock flute being planted and germinated in this album. You know, you have the kind of the themes of Christianity running through here.
Yes.
This whole album. You have the themes of other things. You have, you know, rock flute kind of follows the cycle of creation and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
As we, in a way, do here. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And maybe that's just it. That he needed to separate out those two ideas to make it a little more cohesive. Because those two albums are so much more memorable for how definitive they are.
Yes, exactly.
That maybe that's just it. He took, what are the little plastic things, the plastic sheets on an overhead projector.
Okay.
And he overlaid them. And he's like, yes, this is Homo eroticus. And then the teacher came back and said, no, simplify that. And he took them apart. And he's like, okay, here's rock flute.
What if we did something a little more simple than all of human history?
Just pull it back just a hair.
Just a little bit.
All right, what about Viking history?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
right.
fine.
Yeah,
that's
all
fine.
of
That's
Viking
smaller
history.
than human history. Yeah.
The entirety of the Bible. I'm glad you've narrowed down your focus.
Yes, brought it back. Yes, perfect.
Great.
Perfect. Thanks, Ian.
So, overall, Nick, this is an album that we have listened to.
That is a fact.
And it is the end of...
The end of an era.
It is the end of a certain era. You know, we don't get... We have an 8-year gap there, 8-9-year gap, 7-year gap.
20. This was in 14
And the next one is
to
21.
21. Yeah.
7 years.
7 years.
Just enough time for all of the atoms in Ian's body to replace themselves.
This is a new Ian. It's time
Literally.
for a new song.
Yeah.
A new album, rather. Which, friends, we have already covered. You can go back and listen to those.
And you should.
And you should, if you have not yet. If you're going for true chronology here, you can go back and listen to Zealot Gene, and then you can listen to Rock Flute, and then come back next week.
Into the timeline.
Because
Next week,
we are starting.
the newest new Jethro Tull album,
That's right.
Curious Ruminant.
That's right. We are starting with track 1, Puppet and the Puppet Master, on Curious Ruminant, Jethro Tull's 75th studio album. Until next week, I am the one who dropped the moral compass. I am Nick McGill.
Cheer up, Charlie. I'm Omen Thomas Sade.
There are zombies in the closet of the feckless momes.
And turmoil, tempest, Tull, tsunami? No. It's Talk Tull to me.
It is I, the voice of Yahweh, God of the humans. I have created ye for one more final test, because the first one was not conclusive. This will be mankind's final reckoning to see if they are worthy to live. I have recreated the original test of sin. Behold! Naked man in a garden.
Wow.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Steve.
Hey. Hey, Steve.
So, do you see that? Do you see that over there, Steve?
Yeah, it's like the outside of the... I'm gonna call this a garden that we're in. It's really cool.
I like that. I like that.
I like it too.
That's good.
Oh, look, a little creature.
What?
What do you want to call it?
I want to call that a snake.
That's what it's gonna be called forever now.
Snake just feels right.
It just feels right.
Feels right.
Oh, Snake is gesturing at us with its... I'm gonna call it a tail.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I like where you're going with that.
We're following the snake over here.
Okay.
Following him over here.
What do you got, Snake?
Oh, he's leading us to this cool tree.
Wow, it's so bright. The colors of that.
The fruits on it are so nice looking.
They look succulent.
Do you want some of that fruit, Steve?
No, I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm not really hungry.
Yeah.
You want to go listen to Talk Tull to me? I heard they're a proud member of the Feckless Moments Audio Network.
Oh my god, that's great.
Well, I stepped on the snake. Oh no.